Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, my name is Tanisha and I love taking you along on my reading journey. But this video is going to be a little different than the previous ones because in the last vlogs you joined me on my summer break when I had all the time in the world to dive into books. But life isn't always carefree, so I am back on my daily grind, juggling a full-time job and trying to squeeze in as much reading as possible. So this week I'm taking you along on a more realistic reading journey. You'll get to see how much or how little I managed to read in a typical work week. So let's get started, grab a drink, cozy up and join me for a week in the life of a bookworm. Good afternoon my friend. It is Monday, August 26th. It is 6 p.m. I just got home from work and I am standing next to my bookshelves trying to figure out what book I'm going to read next. I've been looking on my physical TBR for a while now and none of the books I have on there are speaking to me. So I think I am just going to buy a book on Amazon and read it on my Kindle. I am thinking of reading the sequel to A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I read A Thousand Boy Kisses on my very first vlog and I really liked it, and I'm very curious to read the story of the sister of the main character in A Thousand Boy Kisses. So I think I'm going to start reading that today. I'm on page 4 right now and I'm this close to crying. I did not expect this book to start at the event it is starting right now. I don't want to read this again from a different perspective. I know that this story is fictional and that the locations they talk about most likely are fake, but Blossom Grow, I want to go there so bad. They make it seem so beautiful, a slice of heaven placed down on earth, a glimpse of the celestial of peace. Or maybe it was just whose spirit rested here that made it so special. She also describes grief so beautifully, even though the feeling is super raw. She says those 4 years had not changed a thing. A pause button had been pressed that day and I haven't been able to press play since. She is so missed. You learn from the back of the book that this story is going to follow 2 teens who have lost a sibling, and I already shared a quote how the author described grief for the main character. I've now met the male main character and he also describes grief in a beautiful way. He says, I had to be this way. I couldn't sink back to that place where everything was empty and lacking. A sinkhole that was impossible to climb out of. Instead, I leaned into this visceral rage that now controlled me. I gave myself over to hate of the world, of people, of everything that stood to expose what I'd buried deep down. I haven't learned yet how the sibling of the guy passed away, but there is a lot of rage and anger towards the sibling, so I feel like he didn't die by the same cause that the girl's sister passed away from. I have some guesses what might have happened, but I also don't want to speak it into existence. I'm in the car, I just got home and I thought I would share some things about the book I'm reading. I started 1000 Broken Pieces yesterday and I realized I didn't update you anymore yesterday when I stopped reading. I read for 35 pages I think, and so far I'm really liking the book. Like I said before, I did not expect the story to start at the point that it started, but later on I realized that the start made the story even better, because you start at a very emotional point and it can only get better from that point on. I know that the story is going to be very emotional, but you know, both of the main characters are both traumatized, they are dealing with grief. Girl is scared to love anyone again because she doesn't want to lose another person, and the guy is very angry at the world, himself, his brother who died. Both characters are very complex and I am very excited to see them interact with each other. I've only read about them meeting in the airport, but they haven't had any conversations yet, so I'm very curious to see if they will get along from the start or if they are going to be some sort of friends to enemies to lovers, or if they're going to be just friends at the end. I don't know. I'm going to make dinner, watch some YouTube, and then read. So far, I've read 35 pages this week. I wonder if I will be able to read more today, just because I can start a little earlier. I'm hoping on reading at least 50 pages, but I'm not going to be too hard on myself because it is a work week. I have other things to do. I am on page 50 right now of 1,000 Broken Pieces. The two main characters have met, they have opinions about each other. One thing I can say is that I expected how these people were going to feel about each other at first. The male main character is also giving a lot of hints about how his sibling died, and I think I'm going to be right, which I'm not happy about at all. This is something I don't want to be right about. It's 8 p.m. so I have a bunch of hours still until I have to go to bed, but I'm going to keep reading. Of course, I didn't read anything else after I talked to you guys yesterday, so I'm still at page 50. So that means that I read 15 pages on Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to read a lot today because I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning and I could not fall asleep before 7:30, and my alarm went off at 8:15, so I had not much sleep. I am not too tired right now, but I just got home, so I feel like the tiredness and the exhaustion is going to kick in soon. It's very warm outside. It is 30 degrees Celsius today. But luckily my house is very cool, so I'm comfortable. I'm 80 pages in right now and the first proper tears have flown. This is so sad. And I was just thinking that I don't think that this book could have been this good if it was a standalone. I think that us getting to know Poppy in the first book and then getting to see how her sister deals with the grief of losing her makes it even more powerful because we know Poppy. Knowing what the main character in this book has lost makes the book even more powerful. Also makes me feel like I don't resonate as much with the male main character as I do with the female main character, just because I know the sibling that she has lost and I don't know the sibling that he has lost. He hasn't shared anything about his sibling yet, so obviously I'm not as invested in his part of the story as I am in hers. God, I need to take a break. I already said yesterday that I did not want to be right about how the sibling died of the male main character, but I did get it right. I wish I was wrong. Not me crying in the last clip and now I'm kicking my feet. I think they're going to 5 different places. I'm in the second place right now and this one is extra special to me. You know. It's nice to see that the members of this therapy group are getting along. They are friends with each other. They are sharing stories, are helping each other. And I really like the dynamic of the group. And the therapy leaders also sound so nice. It's Thursday today and I was planning on going to the gym. I just got home from the office. It's 5:45 p.m. or something like that. I'm so low on energy. I don't know why, but this made me decide that I'm not going to stress about me going to the gym this week. I read until page 151 yesterday and I'm really liking it so far. It is emotional but also very beautiful. I love the characters, I love their dynamic, I love all the side characters too. I love the plot, I love the scenery that is being said. So I'm just very much enjoying it. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to be nice for myself for once and just let myself chill without feeling guilty. Happy Friday. It's the last day of this video. I'm 75% in right now, and one thing I wanted to talk about is the pacing of the story. The chapters are way shorter than 1,000 Boy Kisses, but every chapter is almost like you skip a couple of days, which makes the pacing very fast, and I'm almost thinking that it's too fast because you don't make a connection with the events that they are experiencing. I have a connection with the characters. I feel for their story. I want them to be happy, but for example, the relationships that they have do not feel real to me because even though they have spent weeks with each other and they have had a bunch of moments to make them, for example, love each other or to make them tell each other that they are their best friends. For me, it is like they just met because I didn't get to see those moments because we skip a few weeks. That's something that I don't necessarily like because I want to root for them, but I just can't because it doesn't feel real, it feels rushed.
Slower, can we just take control? We're overcomplicating how love flows. Hollow shouldn't be the stockbroker.
I finished 1,000 Broken Pieces and I'm also not going to start any new books today, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to let you know what I thought about the book and tell you how many pages I got to read during this work week. I have talked to you guys all throughout the week what I was thinking, but I wanted to give you a cohesive opinion and give my rating. I really liked this book. The beginning was super strong. I was sucked into the emotions from the very first moment. I loved seeing them travel over the world, meet new people, see new places, learn about grief and how different cultures go about dealing with grief. I liked the dynamic that the group had. I liked the therapist that they had. I liked the places that they went. It was written very beautiful again. I have so many highlights on my Kindle and I honestly can't wait to buy the physical copy so I can transfer my annotations to a physical book. One thing that I've mentioned before is that the story felt very rushed. The story takes place over a span of a few months, but even though it is only a few months, there are very many gaps between moments. So you will read about a moment in chapter 1 and then chapter 2 would be weeks apart and they had all these experiences that you didn't read, so their bond has been very strong, but you didn't get to read why their bond is so strong, so it feels fake almost, even though that you can feel the love that all the people have for each other. It still doesn't feel as special as, for example, the relationship Rune and Poppy had. But that honestly didn't make the story less than the first book. I think I'm going to rate this book the same. I know that I rated 1,000 Boy Kisses 4 stars when I first read it, but it's been weeks now since I read it and I cannot stop thinking about the characters, the plot. So I feel like 4 stars is not high enough. I don't want to give it 5 stars because it's not my favorite book ever. I really liked it and I also really liked this one. So I'm going to give both books 4.5 stars. With that being said, let's go to the pages I've read. So Monday I started 1,000 Broken Pieces and I got to page 35. So I read 35 pages on Monday. Then on Tuesday I got to page 49, so I read 15 pages. On Wednesday I got to page 151, so I read 101 pages on Wednesday. On Thursday I got to page 219, which means I read 68 pages. And today I finished the book and read 117 pages, which makes the total for this work week 335 pages read. I think this week is a very realistic image of how much I read when I work full-time but don't have school. School starts next week, so I won't be able to read a whole book in 5 days, but I'm going to do this video again when school is in full force and when I have my assignments due, so that I can show you how much I realistically read when I have a full-time job with a part-time study. That's today's video. Comment down below how many days it takes you normally to finish a book. For me, it's on average 4 days. I hope you like this video. I hope you give it a like. I hope you comment down below your answer on my question. I'll see you in my next video whenever I post it.
To tell you I want more.